Hi again, everybody. This is Hurricane Specialist Robbie Berg. I'm back with our next visit along the virtual tour of the Hurricane Center. What we're doing now is we're going to actually walk into the FEMA Hurricane Liaison Team briefing room, and with that we're going to talk to Matthew Green. Hi, Matthew. Matthew's actually an employee of FEMA, works here at the Hurricane Center full-time, and essentially what he's doing is helping us at the Hurricane Center, the meteorologists, the forecasters, interact with the emergency management community. But I'll let Matthew talk a little bit more about what he does here at the Hurricane Center.
Thank you, Robbie. So yeah, FEMA has an office here at the Hurricane Center. It's a resource for emergency managers, and the idea here is we're trying to make sure the lines of communication are always open between the folks who are making the forecast, the hurricane specialists like Robbie, and the people who are charged with keeping the public safe. So Robbie, why don't you come in here? We'll show you around the office.
So they actually just renovated this area. So it looks really nice, but I'll let Matthew talk about what goes on in here.
So, you know, Robbie, emergency managers, they have to make very tough decisions. And, you know, they don't have the luxury of waiting until the storm actually makes landfall to make their decisions. They have to make decisions with uncertain information. And so to help them, we have folks that will deploy down here that are actually working with the states and the locals, providing them technical assistance, guidance about what their vulnerable populations are, how long it would take for vulnerable people to get to a point of safety, and you know how long that takes. And so when there is an actual storm, those folks would actually be here at the Hurricane Center, and they'd be able to assist the emergency managers with information about the forecast, but also how it relates and understanding to their plans. So we're helping the decision support process here.
So in this room you have all these screens, you have the time up there. So when there's an actual hurricane, what's going on with these screens? Who are you talking to during the actual event?
Sure. So as I mentioned, we're trying to keep the lines of communication open, and one of the ways that we're actually doing that is through video teleconference. It's like basically like a television studio, but through a closed network. And we're able to have the director of the Hurricane Center brief all of the states, all of the federal government, even the White House whenever there's a hurricane threat. And so everybody is able to hear the same messages, the same limitations, the same issues, and share information.
Great. So yeah, and then not even just the hurricane season, but even outside the hurricane season, Matt, we work together closely in some of the training sessions that we do both here at the Hurricane Center and even other places around the country.
Yeah, so, you know, the actual fight against hurricanes starts well before there's an actual hurricane. In fact, folks, emergency managers come here to the Hurricane Center for training. We spend multiple weeks a year doing training. As I mentioned, those emergency managers in FEMA that are in the Northeast states all the way through the Gulf and even in the Pacific, they're working day to day with their emergency managers at the state level and local level to provide training, to assist with their planning. And then here at the Hurricane Center, we'll actually do week-long training for emergency managers. We'll go on the road and do training. So that when there is an actual threat, people understand not just what the hazards are, but how it affects them and their community, and how it relates to their plans and assisting them making their decisions.
Right. Great, Matt. So yeah, Matt, obviously this is an important function of the National Hurricane Center, having Matt and the rest of the FEMA Liaison team here. They're actually located right around the corner from the Hurricane Specialist Operations area. So when we're making a forecast and they need information for the emergency managers, we're able to go back and forth pretty quickly. And you're not the only one here. There's another employee that works here full-time, and then as you stated earlier, when there's actual event, we bring more people down to help with that communication back and forth between forecaster and emergency manager. So thanks, Matt, for your time.
Thank you.
That's me signing off. We'll be back later this afternoon with some more tours or visits along the Hurricane Center tour. Talk to you then.